You know, guys, it's a bit later in the day. The coffee pot is dry. Time to be relaxed and try and talk about a more serious topic out there. Maybe not, be too aggressive in the comment section, guys. That being promptly a couple days ago was responded to by Cloud9 and Jack Etienne over a very serious issue involving the Black Lives Matter movement and protest. I'm sure you guys are well aware, especially here in America, everything going on. And then you add on to all of that, everything that's happened over the course of the past, 6 to 9 months, the entire year so far, adds a lot of pressure into situations like this, where a Cloud9 management, apparently an operations manager known as C9 May, had spoken up particularly about an individual League of Legends skin, that being the Volibear Police skin. Now, with this, it was kind of inferred by a lot of people out there. One person in particular who at least was using this skin was actually Santorin, and when she made this post, it was, all heck broke loose, as she had taken to Twitter to say, "The one non-Cloud9 game I watched, there is always a police volley skin. Hello, Esports Twitter, where are you now? Hello, managers who were so quick to join hashtags. You too afraid to manage your players? Do we need to @ players calling them racist? This is beyond." She further added out in a second tweet her frustration for the current esports scene. Now, all of this, by the way, prompting responses from Santorin and a lot of players out there responding as to why this skin in particular was used because of sound cues and animations. Now, I'm never a fan of individual skins of any game giving any sort of advantages. Unfortunately, so where the game is at right now, it seems that pro players choose this skin for those individual reasons, Santorin being one of those players that was maybe inferred to by this post. I don't want to say directly, but yeah, we have potentially a Cloud9 management member maybe inferring another pro player is racist because of an individual skin he uses in-game. That's how drastic these times have gotten. I can't really speak too much whether you guys think that's a pretty insane thing to say or not. Either way, that's where we're at right now in time, prompting a response from Jack Etienne and Cloud9. A huge props, by the way, to Santorin, who not only took to Twitter to explain himself as to why he uses the skin, but also responding to Jack and Cloud9 and their post about it, saying, hey, water under the bridge, which is just utmost respect for someone handling it like that, especially when you were just called racist for using a League of Legends skin. And Jack's statement, as per usual, very prompt and swift. I would say very well worded as well for C9, saying, yesterday a Cloud9 employee made statements on her personal Twitter account regarding an LCS player's use of a police skin in-game. We've heard the community's feedback, and we agree these comments were ill-conceived and objectionable. These are tense times, and urgent issues are being discussed publicly and privately. Cloud9 believes serious civil discourse on these issues is important. We also believe that threats to publicly label anyone as prejudiced cannot be made lightly. The resulting personal and professional outcomes can be life-changing. And we overview a lot of responses out there. I got great respect for a guy like Jack, very well worded, even in the opening paragraph. But yes, as we see so many accusations, allegations being made, I would say in particular right now in the Twitch streaming scene, but all across gaming, we're seeing accusations. Particularly, we talked about this yesterday as well, the FGC. I think we have nearly 50 people in that scene, whether players or staff or talent, which is incredible. And obviously those are very, very serious, but even to the light of that, right? When you make a statement out there, maybe possibly kind of trying to infer that a pro player is racist because of an in-game skin, that can have a bad look for said player. And it's a really, really touchy topic. As Cloud9 in their statement continue, we have a clear policy regarding social media content that applies to any Cloud9 staff member choosing to highlight that affiliation through the use of Cloud9 header or similar asset, and will address any violation of that policy internally. Additionally, both May and Jack have reached out personally to the player involved to apologize. And all of this, guys, is all well said and done. Whether that punishment is going to be firing, which some people are calling for, that is not for me to judge what should be done about this. Obviously, she has since deleted her statement, privated her Twitter as well, based off these statements. And I'm sure she will learn going forward, before you make these kind of brash statements, you got to overview, especially because, as we see when it comes to a lot of pro players and the choices they make, you represent more than yourself when you sign to an organization. You too are a part of that face of Cloud9. And of course, the words you do use can have severe backlash for you, as well as the organization you represent. So with that being said, I would say water under the bridge, we move on. But brought to light to me via DMs as well, and it's very public out there, is after Cloud9 makes that statement, we have another Cloud9 organizational member for their Teamfight Tactics team. I believe it's pronounced Crone. Cloud9 Crone also coming out on Twitter. At the point of me recording, these are still public. I don't know if Cloud9 knows about these, but he very publicly and vocally backed Cloud9 May's statement about the use of this racially tied skin, which it's a lengthy thread. I'll try and link it down below for all of you guys, or at least read part of it. But it continued. As he said, I want to take a moment and say I support May on calling out people using the police Volibear skin in the LCS. If the only reason people use that skin is a competitive advantage with the sound effects, then that is something that I sympathize with from a pro player. I don't mean to jump the gun here, guys, but I'm highly likely that is the reason why pros are using this skin, okay? Because when you make these statements, you too, seemingly, when you say if that is the only reason, and guys, the pot of coffee is dry. I'm not supposed to be getting tense right now, but when you say if that's the only reason, I'm fairly certain that is the only reason. Unless you have an idea in your head that a pro player that's using it, that's not their only reason. What are you trying to say here? And he continues on to try and reason throughout this thread. I do think he presents some fairly good points, but after your organization has just warned and obviously had told May to take down her posts and said they were apologizing to said players, and then you back up her statements, I don't know if there's some sort of miscommunication. I understand somewhat of maybe where parts of this argument are coming from, but the fact that maybe people out there think that League of Legends pro players are trying to showcase their internal racism by choosing an individual skin, to me, in my opinion, seems very, very far-fetched, and it's just a crazy time why we even have to break this down. Like, we could have just had water under the bridge, but these statements had to be made, and I'm going to leave it there before I get too heated. I like to think that every single pro player out there who uses this skin is not doing so for racially charged reasons. It seems that some people out there would disagree with that statement, some of whom are tied to very prominent organizations and likely should be careful with their wording in the future. We will see if Riot Games responds about this and they make all skins equal, and hopefully in the future, if they do, people will either choose or choose not to use this said skin. I'll leave you guys on one note as well, for people who are kind of like, what is going on, right? We've actually seen other games do make changes around these police brutality cases, by the way. Fortnite was one of the first, and I think maybe if not one of the only primary ones, which even then when they did this, people were like, why? As they removed all police cars from their map. It just shows you guys what a weird time we are in. Let's just move on. Water under the bridge. Until next time, drink that water, drink that coffee. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon.